Congratulations, Davante Adams. You absolutely played yourself. You could have set it up so nice. You could have played with Jaden Daniels and the up-and-coming Washington Commanders. You could have been with the almighty Chiefs. You could have helped revive Russell Wilson's career in Pittsburgh, but no. You had to glaze Aaron Rodgers one more time, go back, have your best buddy sleep over, and then become a New York Jet. The Jets have been a disaster all season long, 3-8, but Davante Adams was supposed to be the spark to turn things around to make the Jets playoff contender. Well, here we are. Davante has played 5 games with the Jets. They are 1-4 with him on the team, and it's not like he's been helping the cause or helping the Jets win games. I mean, he's actually been pretty below average. 26 receptions, 278 yards, and 1 touchdown. Yikes. You forced your way out of Vegas for this, and in the process, the Jets have fired scapegoats head coach Robert Saleh and GM Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas is that firing I just can't get behind. The man who literally drafted the key pieces of this Jets team, the only reason they are worth anything at all, is now gone. I mean, do we remember a time when the Jets were like low-key building something really nice defensively? And it was always like, well, if the Jets can get their offense down, Robert Saleh's got a great defense because of the pieces that Joe Douglas put together. Well, all that is now gone. Davante Adams made a mistake. He should have never come to New York. I know he's best buddies with A-Rod. He wanted to do that podcast with Pat McAfee, but not enough people are saying it, so I'm going to. Aaron Rodgers is washed, and Davante has hooked himself up to the wrong wagon. I know that Aaron Rodgers is almost 40 or even 40 years old, and that's okay. Father Time is going to catch up with everybody. Look at Mike Tyson. But Aaron Rodgers is not the same player that he was even 4 years ago, but he treats himself and he treats everybody else as if he's still that MVP candidate. I know things were bad in Las Vegas with the Raiders, but they weren't this bad. I don't even know where you start with the Jets. They are such in dysfunctionville that, like, you're too far in with Aaron Rodgers. You don't trade what you traded to give him to give up after 1 healthy year. Davante Adams is on pace to have just 753 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's some of his lowest numbers since his second year in the league, and that was when he had prime Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson on the team. I don't understand why the media saw this trade as this great move for the Jets, even though they gave up very little for him. I knew what it was going to look like, and the media was like, well, where does the Davante Adams trade put the Jets in Super Bowl contention? The answer was always going to be not at all. This Jets team is not a Super Bowl contender. They were never a Super Bowl contender. I don't know why we pretended like they were supposed to. Davante should have stayed with the Raiders, or maybe not been so gosh darn particular where he wanted to play and restructure his contract. I have more faith in the Raiders ownership to put together a winning team because the Jets have been losers for such a long time, and they're going to continue to be losers because instead of looking at themselves in the mirror and facing the music saying, hey, look, we made a bad decision. We should not have gone all in for Aaron Rodgers and allow him to lead GM our team. We should not have taken Green Bay sloppy seconds. Owner Woody Johnson chooses to point the finger at everyone else. I don't have one bit of sympathy for the Jets ownership, and I don't have one bit of sympathy for Davante Adams. There were other teams interested in him. I mean, can we imagine a duo of Terry McLaurin and Davante Adams with the Commanders in Washington? Can we imagine Josh Allen throwing to Davante Adams in Buffalo? But instead, we're watching Aaron Rodgers airmail him and then just pretend like it wasn't his fault. No one is taking accountability for the Jets, and it's catching up with them. It's going to continue because there's no accountability. It's not like Adams had this terrible production with the Raiders. He put up 231 receptions, 2,900 yards, and 23 touchdowns. I mean, we were still considering this guy one of the top receivers in the league. He made the Pro Bowl, and I mean, he was still regarded as a really, really good receiver who still had several years left in him. But now it's looking like the end of his prime is going to be wasted in purgatory with his best friend.